Hey, welcome to the Higher AV podcast. My name is Joe Way. I am your host, and boy, do we have a good one for you today. I'm doing a live one, but it's kind of live. It's a live recording because I'm doing this as our annual preview episode, and I'm actually going to say it's a little bit less of a preview episode as it is a reminder to log in episode. Um, so hopefully this just hits your feed. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. It is Lunar New Year for those who celebrate. So happy Lunar New Year to those who celebrate. Yesterday we had President's Day, and tomorrow is the HETMA Virtual Conference, eighth one, I do believe. Lose track. I keep saying every year I got to remember exactly how many there were, because we did two one year because of Infocom canceling and having people be able to present what they'd already had set for that. So that being said, I'm doing a quick one. I'm doing a solo one today, kind of as a reminder about the episode. I encourage you to go back and go to the AV Life. There's a great HETMA takeover preview episode there where they went down everything going on with the conference and why you should do it. So I'm today just going to really I'm going to kind of reflect on the importance of the virtual conference. Obviously, encourage you to join in. There is a Zoom link. All you really have to do, I'm going to create myself a little banner right here. It's pretty easy. You just go on the HETMA community and you go to the events and replays tab, and you will see the virtual conference. And that is how you get into it. It is free, of course. It is always free. And so that's all you have to do is you just go to the community.hetma.org. If you don't have an account, it's free. You just start your account, and we will then add you in. You go to the events, and you just click it, and there's the Zoom link to join right on in. There's also an article over at hiredav.com posted on the top bar that gives you direct links into it as well as on the community. You can get the schedule. But really what I wanted to do today was kind of do a little bit of a reflection on the virtual conference. You know, when BC and I first started HETMA, we created a bunch of kind of save the date cards and then, okay, we're going to start with a virtual conference with no members, nothing, no one at all part of the organization. We showed up at Infocom in 2019 because we founded this in March of 2019. Showed up in June of 2019, and just some save the date cards. And in that time at Infocom, we got our great 10 member steering committee where we put together the various sessions that ran for the couple of days. And again, it was all, we started with our key belief and logo, slogan, whatever, by us and for us. It was the first virtual conference where there was not a call for sessions, but instead we got together as a group and said, what do we want to know about? What do we want to learn about? And let's get the experts in there and talk about that. And that's really kind of how this took off. And then, the following year, we end up obviously having COVID happen. And we, reached out to Avixa and said, hey, we have a lot of higher ed people who are already planning on presenting at Infocom. Could we could we partner together and maybe we get a platform for our members or our higher ed people to join in and present? And they did, right? And that's really, I would say it's that moment that really made HETMA take off. I think that's where, I don't want to say legitimized, but it said, it recognized that we were here for a purpose. That's also then we kind of founded the board of directors. We got our first group of board members from there, our chairs from there, and the initiative started really kind of coming out of those first couple of virtual conferences, which is what this was started as. And it was started just to advocate and have a platform for our people. And then it's grown into what it is today, now surpassing over 10,000 members across our various platforms. So, which is just crazy. And so I would, I will go through some of the different sessions, and for those who don't know, I'm actually recently have stepped back from operational leadership of HETMA, in order to kind of just allow the organization to take on a life of its own. So I've actually been out of a lot of the planning for this and stepped back from a lot of the planning for this. Um, and uh, and so I'm actually excited to attend as an attendee, um, and and learn with everybody else, engage with everybody else. The chat of the virtual conference goes off. I encourage you to. It is 3 days. It runs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's the 18th, 19th, 20th. A couple of key things: join in the morning with your coffee. Get in, put the sessions on throughout the day. Hop in as you can. Um, and then, of course, we end every night with a little bit of a happy hour, just to kind of relax and have that community growing together. So I do encourage you. Also, it is 3 days. I know that it's virtual, which means you're not stepping away from work. You're doing it while you're working, and that's okay. I encourage you, just put it on the background, right? It's a Zoom call, throw it on the background, get another computer or something so you can set it up if you have to double dip meetings. That's what I do. I just always set it up over on another, set up my laptop, and I got my home computer that I'll work from. And then when I've got a few minutes, I just kind of hop back in, turn the volume up of the other one, and let it roll. That to me, that's the best way to do it, and jump in and just really see the community come together. And that's always, the virtual conference is always going to have a special place for me. This year's theme is Road to 10Ks. Our entire theme for this entire year is Road to 10K, getting up to 10,000 members, which, at ISE we did surpass. So we're excited about that. We're excited to see how this organization continues to grow and continues to now feed the members. It was never really about the numbers. It's about how many people we can serve. And you need people to serve. And so now we're going to focus on engagement, and we're going to focus on really giving the best for everybody there. So that being said, the theme is Road to 10K. You've noticed our little racing themes throughout the year, and it's exciting. So that being said, I just want a couple of things. When I think virtual conference, there's a couple of things that really stick out to me, which have made it special. And there's always special moments that happen in the virtual conference. I think of the first one that comes to mind, and that's how many people who are now leaders of HETMA found it because of the virtual conference. Found it because they just logged in and sat in the background. And I mean, I got to say, Erin, I remember sitting there and seeing her box pop up, camera off, just kind of chilling in the background, but having just the comments that would come up, and every time she would kind of come in and say something and add to the conversation. I remember sitting there going and messaging BC like, someone special is in here. And now our chair, right? I mean, and that's just, it's to see how, a virtual conference can engage and really help to give that platform for taking another step in their career in the organization. And I know so many people on the board said, oh yeah, this is how I found it, and it's free, right? Where else can you join in and collaborate with our community and do it for free? So I know that automatically that, just in having Erin pop in and do it and see where she's been able to take this organization, and where Troy's together, they've been able to take this organization. It's pretty awesome. Next, I think, the key initiative, and the one that means so much to me, the Prism Scholarship, that was announced at Infocom in the following year. I guess that would have been, was that October of 21, or was it the 22? Anyway, 21, yeah, because in the first cohort, 22. And when Caden stepped on and called us out during that virtual conference, as steering committee, great, we're rolling, but it wasn't this, when and we have the steering committee. Oh, by the way, it's interesting that you're all just middle-aged white guys, and that was the call out. It's like, well, that's not what we want, and that's what kind of brought out the Prism Scholarship and made that happen. And so, just that honesty and that platform to be able to allow our, our members, our people, our vertical to be able to express what's important to them. And then as an organization, us able to go out and say, yeah, we do a platform, we can create things. And now look how many people have come through the Prism Scholarship and who are now leaders in our organization. To me, that is just special. Um, if I and that wouldn't have happened without without that, or maybe it would have, but not in the same way. But because we created a space for us, and we create a space for what do we need, and we say by us and for us. It's a slogan that goes beyond, the uh, just us kind of talking at each other, but rather talking with each other. It's us collaborating together and being that community that we really say we are and we know we are. Uh, and that's where I just sit there and go, without the virtual conference, the Prism Scholarship wouldn't exist in the way it is. So we stepped away from that virtual conference and said, okay, if we're going to do this, let's make sure that we do it in a way that there is substance behind it. And that's when we reached out to Avixa again. Great partnership with Avixa to be able to bring that and announced it at the next InfoComm. So those are the things that are able to happen with a virtual conference. I think about the fun games we've played before. Um, Karaoke, we did that one year. That was great. Obviously, the happy hours that run for what, 8 hours and 24 minutes. I don't know if we're going to break it again. I'm sure Amy's going to yell at me if I get loud and obnoxious upstairs. I remember taking one from Lake Arrowhead a couple of years ago when I had to work up there. And and just so many incredible memories that come from it, not to just mention the content. Obviously, as far as the content, I'll run through a handful of things. With the we always start with the state of HETMA, and Aaron is kind of running that. And we welcome morning coffee, day one, state of HETMA, where we've been, where we're going. And then we just jump right into everything. And we jump in first session, universal design, getting flex space involved, talking about, changes that are coming down in our, or, in our, important things there with design principles. Then we go into our networking lunch, just an opportunity to grab some food, come and hang out together. We're going to jump into challenges facing higher education, following to I love our last session of the day. Then it's going to be demystifying networked AV. I think that's going to be a solid one. And then our happy hour. So that's day one. So you just turn it on, you get involved as you can, let the sessions roll through. Day two, obviously morning coffee again, and impact of AI on higher ed. All our schools are dealing with how to deal with AI. I think we've got Byron with Next coming in, and he's going to be able to share some great things. If you followed the ISE coverage, you kind of heard a little bit about what we did with Next and the presentations there. Then we're getting right into assisted listening again, and more accessibility and the important things as we do that. Also Wi-Fi and cloud-based assisted listening. Back to our networking lunch, and then optimizing your AV systems for peak performance. And obviously extremely important as we do our daily work and our daily jobs, because nothing is worse than always having to band-aid. So preventive maintenance, best practices, and fine-tuning our systems and keeping them optimal, of course, is important. And then we're going to jump into cloud monitoring, or all monitoring, I guess. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of cloud. Probably going to talk about all monitoring, and monitoring that through a single pane of glass. I'm excited about that. That one, I have a lot to say. And I'm not even, by the way, I'm not on any of these panels. I'll probably jump in the state of HETMA to beginning, but I'm not in any of these. So I'm just going to attend with you all, and I'm just throw some comments in and have great conversations together. And then we end with the happy hour again, always going into the happy hour to close off that day. And then Friday, of course, closing strong with the Road to 10K podcast, doing that in the morning. We always kind of end up, coffee, live podcast recording, the data analytics, which again, we all need that. If you're now working in an IT department, your bosses are asking about how to use the data. We can make it actionable. How can you use that to justify your capital investments? We're going to jump then into digital whiteboarding. Faculty use them, don't use them. This is, one of those things that we're going through a transformational time in AV. So I'm interested in hearing kind of who uses them, who doesn't, who wants to use them, who wants to get rid of them. I think that'll be a great conversation. Final session, then, of course, changing your filter, sifting through the noise of new technologies, how we can assess new tools, and make the right decisions with them as we kind of standardize across our campuses. And then, as always, closing off with our Higher Ed AV happy hour. So really looking forward to that 3 days. I think it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have great conversations together. And so I just do encourage you, hop on, you go to, I'll put it across the bottom again for those who are watching. We go to community.hetma.org, you go to the events, click the event, there's a link to join, jump in the conversation, and just have an incredible 3 days. Again, you don't have to be at all of it. We encourage you to, but just throw it on the background. Tell 100 of your closest friends, jump in there. We're going to really have an amazing time together. So, yeah. And let me think of some other, if there's anything else I want to think about and say with this. It's just, it's amazing because every time we come to our virtual conference, uh, I just get amazed at how this organization has grown and what it's turned into. And it wouldn't be for the community coming together and jumping in, and what more could you ask for a free conference, especially in times when our campuses have travel bans, training bans, budgets are cut. You can spend, 3 days hanging with your people, learning, sharing ideas. And I always get so much out of it. So I'm excited about this, and I hope you are too. It's going to be an amazing three days together. That being said, like I said, this was going to be a short, quick one. This is just more of a reminder. This popped in your feed today. It starts tomorrow, or whenever you listen to it. You can hop in at any time. You don't have to take the beginning of it. We do post all of the recordings later as well, up on the community page, so you will be able to follow all of the content as afterwards. So it's going to be a great time. That being said, I'm going to let go, and I'm going to let Chia's office back. So I got a blurred background for the first time because I'm in Chi's office and I have no idea what's hanging on the walls behind me. And that being said, love y'all, love you, HETMA family. What an incredible opportunity to come together again for 3 days, sharing and learning from each other, because that's what we're all about. Have a great one. And as always, the opinions expressed here, I say those of our respective institutions, companies, sponsors, or really anyone who wants to sue us. If you want to sue us, nothing to do with you. Thank you all. And if you didn't like these opinions, I guarantee you there are much better ones at the virtual conference. Take care all.